Hey guys, welcome to a little talk I'm going to do on my new book, A Radical Awakening. I'm going to be doing a reading from it and discussing some themes from it if you want to go buy the book, but better yet, be part of my 10-day deep dive course. Go to aradicalawakening.com and get the course. I am going to be diving deep into the book in these 10 days. The course is on the website, aradicalawakening.com. So you will get 3 books with the course and a deep dive. Hi everyone, tell me where you are signing in from. I'm going to be reading some stuff from my book today and hoping to have a discussion with you. Tell me where you're signing in from and what you are doing today to make your day a better day, to love yourself more, to be more connected. What are you doing today to take that step toward you? So tell me where you're from, what you're doing today to connect more to your most authentic self. So this book that I've written, A Radical Awakening, coming out next month. Go to aradicalawakening.com, join me for the 10-day deep dive or get the book. So the reason I wrote this book is because in my practice with hundreds and hundreds of women especially, I began to notice a common theme. And you tell me in the chat if this is resonating with you in your life. So the theme I noticed across women, across demographics, all over, was this: that we women especially were trained to be hungry for approval, validation, and praise. So in my book, I call it the triple threat. We women are hungry for approval, validation, and praise. So do you find that this is true in your life? Tell the truth. If you do things in relationships or don't do things in relationships because you are hungry for approval, validation, and praise. For example, if you're upset at your partner or upset with your friend, you may be afraid to bring it up because you're afraid to lose their approval, validation, and praise. So I wrote this book, A Radical Awakening, because I wanted to help women come into their power. So there are many books out there for women to come into their power. It's the thing of the times. Feminists write about it, psychologists write about it. So how is this book different? It's different because I not only talk about my own journey, I also outline the journey as a therapist, as if I was taking you down the journey. And I also integrate it with spirituality, transcendence, mindfulness. So it's got the whole package. Okay, so I began to notice that we women are addicted to approval, validation, and praise. So is this right for you? We are addicted. And if we don't pay attention to how we're addicted, how we are needy, how we are codependent on the other giving us approval, validation, and praise, to tell you that you are worthy, to tell you that you are significant, then we will not awaken. So in my own life, I had to realize how addicted I was to these things, and that the reason I was not being authentic was because I wanted approval, validation, and praise. I wanted the other to approve of me. So what does approval really mean? Approval is we're literally asking the other for permission to exist. Do you give me permission to feel what I feel? Do you give me permission to exist? Do you give me permission to follow my passion, my purpose? That's what it means to seek approval, is to seek permission. And most of us women have been addicted to seek permission to exist in subtle ways, in insidious ways, in invidious ways from the external world. And if you're really honest with yourself, you will notice how you have been seeking approval, permission to be, permission to exist from the external world. And this is what we snatch, steal, rob from our children. We do not give them free approval. Our approval is conditional. And we teach them to be dependent on us for approval, validation, and praise. And then the cycle continues through generations. But we women know this so well. We women know how much we've been trained like sheep to go to the other for approval. So what is validation? The triple threat is approval, validation, and praise. So approval at its core is the permission to be. Do you give me permission so I can be validated? Can I be worthy? Can you love me? Can you give me permission? And as long as we ask the other for permission, for approval, we will always be tethered. Liberation comes from untethering the other as being the source of our approval. So what is validation? Validation is, am I even good enough? Am I even good? Am I valid? Are my feelings valid? So the first one is, do you give me permission to even have them? Validation is, do you even think that it's okay for me to have these feelings? Am I valid? So we women have been trained to look for validation on the outside. We're looking for somebody to tell us it's okay to have that feeling. It's okay. The first one is, can I have it? The second one is it okay to have it? And we don't take the authority back in our own power. We give this authority away. Why? Because we grew up in a patriarchal culture. And it's normal to do that. No blame here, no shame. And I'm not blaming the men either. The men are in the patriarchy too. Sure, they have a lot of benefit. And they may have even helped create the patriarchy. But we women are helping co-create it. We are helping uphold the patriarchy. So we need to take ownership of all the ways that we are upholding the patriarchy. And this is what my book does. It's a thick book. Go get it, aradicalawakening.com. If you go to aradicalawakening.com and press on my course, I'm doing a 10-day deep dive. You will get 3 books for free. So think about it. Do you want to just buy 1 book or take my course for 10 days so that you can radically awaken and then you get 3 books for free? Think about it. So in this book, I talk about how women and men, but mostly women, are addicted to approval, validation, and praise. And praise is simply, do you celebrate me? Do you hold me so worthy that you celebrate me, you uphold me, you elevate me? So we're constantly looking for the other to celebrate us, right? That's why we want our children to call us on Mother's Day. And we want our friends to throw us our 40th birthday party or 50th or 60th. Because we want to be celebrated. And here is where we lose our power. Because we're waiting for the other. Even if it's your children, your parents, your partner, or your best friends. As long as you are waiting for them to give you approval, validation, and praise, you will forever be undermining yourself. So right now in your own life, this is what I want you to do. I want you to look at your life right now, honestly, and truly reconcile. Who in your life do you need approval from? Who in your life do you need praise from? Everybody. Who in your life do you need validation from? I know the answer is everybody. It would be lovely if everybody gave it. But here is what we're talking about, something deeper. That hunger, that thirst, that beggar mentality that we all have. We're all beggars, begging. Do you love me? Do you see me? Do you need me? Do you think I'm worthy? Right? That beggar mentality, that has got to go. Now, it's not going to go just by a motivational speech. That's why you need a book like The Radical Awakening. Ding, ding, ding. Because here I outline the steps. I take you on a journey. I take you down a path. See, there are 1,000 books written about how we women need to stand in our power. But nothing's changed much, right? Because we cannot do lip service to this process. This is not a rah, 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 let's go and do it. Everybody knows that, but we don't change our lives. Why? Because it's difficult. We need to go through a process. We need to have the light bulbs go off, right? It's not easy. This is damn hard. It took me, and it's still taking me, 48 years. I had my first awakening at 21, and then I continued the next 22 years of my life as if I hadn't had an awakening. And then I had another awakening at 44, and I'm 48, and I'm still having awakenings because it is such a deep conditioning by culture that we women have been taught to shut up, to give up our power. You know, we're so loving. I love to be loving. I love to cook, and I love to nurture, and I love to take care, and I love to say yes, and I love to put smiles on people's faces. But in that doing and loving and caretaking, I forget that my needs are important too. And then when the person around you is so used to you giving up your power and you doing everything for them, then when you are like, hello, I have needs too, they don't like it. They think you're demanding. They think you're a bitch. Right? And then you're like, oh, maybe I'm a bitch. And you don't want to be a bitch. But here's the thing. You have to be okay being a bitch. So if you want to be okay being a bitch, come to my 10-day course on a radical awakening. I'll teach you how to be okay to be a bitch. And I've realized in my own journey, I used to get so upset when people called me a bitch. And when they used to say, oh, look, she's being such a bitch. I used to get so mad, so upset. Don't call me a bitch. I'm not a bitch. I'm a nice person. Right? Till I realized, oh my God, why am I getting upset being called a bitch? A bitch means that they are uncomfortable with my power. And the moment I reframed that, I was like, call me a bitch. I think I'm okay with it. I don't know. I don't know yet. But I'm getting better with it because I realize a bitch is somebody who's in her power. And it may not have to be a bad word. It could be said in a negative way. And that's how the patriarchy wants you to take it. The patriarchy wants you to feel bad about being powerful. So they call you something that knows will poke you. But if you reframe it and say, oh, you're just getting threatened by me, aren't you? I'm in my power now, aren't I? Then you just go, okay, call me what you want. Call me what you want. I'm not going to be quiet anymore. So owning our power, owning our dominant, sovereign, loud, big, unabashed self is a radical awakening that we women need to go through. We women need to go through a radical awakening together today, right here, right now. As sisters, we need to support each other. Go to aradicalawakening.com and sign up for my 10-day course, and I will show you how. And you get 3 books for free. So I'm just going to read something from the book. Many of us struggle with our true power because we don't want to be a burden. We don't want to be seen as the bad one. And because we're so attached to our idea of goodness. We're so attached to our idea of being the good one that we can't take it if we bother other people. Because when we upset other people, they don't see us as the good one anymore. But guess what? Part of being authentic is going to bother a lot of people. So are you ready to be authentic? Or you don't want to bother anyone for the rest of your life? Yeah, you're going to have to mess up the whole equation. You're going to have to stir up the pot. You're going to have to piss people off. They're going to call you a bitch. So are you okay with it? Or are you going to be like, no, I want to be the good one. No more. So we have to wake up. We have to be okay with asking for help, messing up, breaking up, walking out, speaking up, pissing people off, they're going to scream and yell at you, especially the patriarchy. They're not okay with women standing up. So the power is now waiting for you to give it permission to be unleashed. So are you going to give yourself the power to say, I'm not going to be afraid? Because at the end of the day, I'll just be alone. I'll just be alone. Why is being alone such a bad thing? Wouldn't you rather be alone and authentic and with two other friends? You will have two other friends, I promise you. Nobody's ever alone. You'll have two friends. Isn't it better to be alone with two friends and completely authentic than it is to be completely fake with 50 people in the room all going, oh, she's so good, but you're being completely fake? So end of the story. That's it. You want to be fake and you want to be known as the good one, or you want to be authentic and you may be called a bitch? Decide, okay? The choice is yours. I made my choice and I'm totally being called a bitch, but I'm being authentic. So decide how you want to live the rest of your life. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait to be considered valid by somebody else, and do not wait to be celebrated by others, because you'll be waiting all your life. You have to give this gift to yourself. You know, I had a client once and she bought a ring for herself because she was so disconnected to herself. I said, you can't be in a relationship if you're not even connected to yourself. You're just going to perpetuate the bullshit. So if you want to learn how to marry yourself, if you want to learn how to enter your worth, go to eradicalawakening.com. I'm doing a 10-day deep dive. You will get 3 books, and I'm going to take you down all these pages step by step by step. So join me so that you live an authentic life. You step into your power. You don't wait for anyone else to give you permission to be free to be. You take that permission back and you give it to yourself. So there's a way to do it. There's a process to do it. Go to the link. It's being posted everywhere. Or just go to eradicalawakening.com and sign up for the 10-day deep dive. Let's do this. Get your friends, get your sisters, get your mothers, so that we can be a community of women who radically awaken. And you get 3 books for free as well. Do you want to radically awaken with me? If you do,